Breaking news, Fever fans! It looks like Stephanie White is pulling off the most shocking sabotage attempt yet on Lexi Hull. And this time, Stephanie White won't escape. Fans are calling it the final straw, and many believe White's job is officially on the line. Is this the end of White? If you too are fed up with Stephanie White, drop a "Fire White" in the comments. Lexi Hull came out on fire, dropping 21 points in the first half, lighting it up, carrying the Fever offense when no one else had it going. The energy was electric, the crowd was buzzing, and it finally felt like the Fever had found another spark outside of Caitlin Clark. But then, something changed. The moment the second half started, Lexi barely touched the ball. Plays weren't being drawn for her anymore. Her rhythm was killed. The same hot hand that had just carried the Fever through the first half was completely erased from the offense. And fans aren't buying the idea that this was just random or a coincidence. No, they're calling it what it looks like: sabotage. Social media exploded within minutes. One fan tweeted, "You don't bench a player with 21 in the first half unless you want to lose." Another wrote, "This feels intentional. Lexi was cooking and White froze her out." Hashtags like #FireWhite, #FreeLexi, and even #ProtectClark started trending as Fever fans demanded answers. Memes flooded Twitter and TikTok, some showing Lexi on fire in the first half, then an ice cube in the second with the caption, "White's game plan." The outrage wasn't just local. National outlets picked it up too. And it's not like this came out of nowhere. Over and over again this season, the Fever have found ways to waste their own talent. Third quarter collapses, poor adjustments, clueless rotations. It's become a pattern, and fans, even analysts, can't ignore it anymore. But here's where it gets worse. This isn't the first time Stephanie White has dodged accountability. Just last week, in the locker room, she didn't step up with strategy. She didn't give real answers about the offense. Instead, she broke down in tears in the locker room. She cried about resiliency, togetherness, and growth. And sure, that sounds touching, but let's be real. This is still a results job. The Fever didn't draft Caitlin Clark, the most prolific scorer in NCAA history, so their coach could cry and talk in circles. They drafted her to win. And what has White done? She's forced Clark into a motion offense that kills spacing, moves Aaliyah Boston away from the paint, and let games slip away with the same third quarter collapses over and over again. And let's not forget, White has done nothing to protect her players. Clark's knees have been targeted all season. Sophie got hurt, Lexi's been beaten up, and White just stands there. Now, let's go deeper into this Lexi sabotage moment, because this isn't just about one game. Freezing Lexi out doesn't just hurt her, it wrecks the whole Fever offense. When Lexi is hot, defenses are forced to spread out. That gives more room to create, it opens the paint for Boston, and it forces opposing defenses to actually respect the perimeter. By taking Lexi out of the equation, White made the Fever predictable, easy to guard, and completely reliant on Clark forcing miracle plays. That's not just bad coaching, that's self-destruction. And analysts are starting to agree. On ESPN, one commentator said, annoyed, "You don't silence your best shooter in the middle of her best game. That's either incompetence or intentional." Another added, "If this keeps up, Indiana will waste Caitlin Clark's rookie year, and that's unforgivable." The locker room, meanwhile, tells its own story. Body language from players said it all. Heads down, frustration boiling, trust fading. When a player like Lexi Hull does everything right and still gets frozen out, it sends a message to the whole roster that nothing you do matters. That's how teams collapse from the inside. And you can bet Caitlin Clark feels it too. She's watching teammates who step up get erased. She's stuck in an offense that doesn't maximize her gifts. And she's carrying the weight of an entire franchise on her shoulders. Even Aaliyah Boston looks out of rhythm, forced into uncomfortable spots while White refuses to adapt. Meanwhile, fans have had enough. Comment sections are flooded with rage. White is sabotaging her own players. She's jealous of Clark. This is personal, not professional. Clips of the so-called sabotage moment are spreading everywhere. Slowed down, analyzed, debated. Even neutral fans are starting to say it. Stephanie White's time is up. And the speculation has already started. Reporters are asking if the Fever front office can really keep her after this. Analysts on sports shows are openly saying she's lost the team. The talk isn't if she'll be fired anymore. It's when. Will it be mid-season? Will they wait until the off-season? Or will they finally act now before Caitlin Clark's rookie year is completely wasted? Because that's the real danger here. If this continues, if Clark spends her first year in the league dealing with sabotage, poor coaching, and wasted opportunities, the damage won't just be to the Fever's record, it'll be to the franchise's future. And make no mistake, fans won't forget. They've seen the patterns, they've seen the breakdowns, they've seen the sabotage. The locker room has turned, the fan base has turned. And now, the front office has no choice. The question isn't whether Stephanie White deserves to be fired. The question is, how much longer can the Fever afford to wait? Because with every game, every blown lead, every wasted performance like Lexie's, the answer becomes clearer. The clock on Stephanie White has already run out.